Welcome to the Tuesday installment of Hot Stove. Here we are, early February.
Whoa,
What's
boy.
today's date?
Welcome
February
back,
4th?
Matt.
Thanks,
Boy.
H. Nice to be
Wow.
here. Nice to be here with the team again.
Hey, you know what, Lauren and Matt? I am the new leader of
Which
attendance.
Is so
No, you're
sad.
not.
Oh, yes, I
No, you're
am.
not.
Blowing you guys away.
It's not possible.
Blowing you
Yeah,
away.
thank you
She's
for that.
in Morocco. You're hanging out wherever in Jersey and California and you name
Jersey?
it. I've been here.
He had an Armenian dinner.
I did.
Posted
I had a
up.
big Armo dinner, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But still, that wasn't. Dinner's at night. Could have
Yeah,
been here.
you know, we were there getting ready for the dinner, and our Armenians moved slowly. It took us
Just
a long
saying,
time
I've
to
been
get out there.
posting up, man.
Good job, man. We got a good show today, too. This is a nice one to circle back to. Vinny Pasquantino, Ken Singleton. We have a softball player on with us who, I was looking at her resume, Kelsey Nader's resume from Northwestern.
She can
is
play.
Impressive. And Dexter Fowler is going to join us, too, so lots to get to today.
Yeah. Women's softball starts up, man. I just got a text from my daughter. She's all into it.
Oh,
She's
here we
playing,
go.
You know that? Here
I
it
know,
goes.
and we are just
And we're
weeks
carrying
away.
games on the network.
And weeks away from spring training. I mean, here we go. We're in it now.
Yeah,
So
here we go.
while you were watching something else maybe yesterday, some fresh video. We love when the fresh video rolls in.
Roll it, community!
Yeah, roll it. Roll that beautiful bean footage of the Phillies leaving the bank.
Let's go!
They got the drone going. They got the moving vans going. They got the Fanatic leading the caravan. And it's off they go to Clearwater. It's the official start of the spring training migration in our sport.
Now
We love
imagine if you're like, a lot of their front office goes to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They got to be relieved. It has been snowing. It's been cold.
Yeah.
And now you're rolling.
They'll be watching the Super
watching
Bowl
the Super
from
Bowl
down
from down there.
Right. It gets us to thinking about the Phillies and about what some have categorized their offseason as being quiet. Maybe, maybe not. I think they've made some pretty interesting ads. Jesus Luzardo's a great ad.
Yeah.
But this bullpen has changed its face quite a bit.
That's what they needed, right?
Well, remember how they ended the season last year. I mean, these are just some of the notable transactions. They add Jordan Romano to that bullpen. Joe Ross will be a swing man. Jesus Luzardo into the rotation. Max Kepler.
A nice pickup.
Gone from last year's bullpen. Jeff Hoffman. Specifically the bullpen. It does look quite a bit different entering 2025 than it did last year. So what was a kind of a blemish for them in the postseason now is thought to be a strength with some of the tweaks they've made. What about the lineup? Where are you with the way the Phillies go about scoring runs?
Well, I've been on the whole Schwarber can't lead off anymore thing.
Right.
I hope they're off of that. I just think it makes them one-dimensional. When you have a guy like Trey Turner who can do so many things, why do you sit there and start a game where if he doesn't homer, on first now you got to move him around. Mm-hmm. You're susceptible to double play, but also now it just changed. You send Turner to the plate with one out if he goes out.
So put that back up there, guys. What would you suggest here? Is it just a flip,
the only
1 and 2?
flip is 1 and 2 for me.
So you want Schwarber and Harper back-to-back. You're okay with the lefty-lefty?
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Or I can throw Castellanos. I just think Schwarber can't lead off. I think it handicaps you.
You know,
especially when you turn it back around. But the reason they didn't make a lot of moves, I mean, they talked about Alec Bum maybe being moved a little bit. Castellanos' name snuck out there a little bit as well. But this is a big-time lineup. You're going to have help. If Harper's healthy the whole season, he was an MVP pace last year. Mm-hmm. He wins the National League MVP, even over Ohtani. He was rolling.
No, he doesn't.
In the first half, he was
Ohtani was going to win that award regardless of who you dug up. But you're right. He was hot before he got hurt.
He was hot, and he got injured. And then Trey Turner is going to take off.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't make a lot of moves. Those two names I just mentioned, that's $600 million.
You know, they didn't make a lot of moves because they didn't need to make a lot of moves.
Right.
Certainly with that lineup, I think the Phillies made all the right moves, as a matter of fact. And there's some outstanding payroll commitment out there.
Yeah, I mean, look at this money. I look at the total and not necessarily the average annual value, but I'm looking at the total. That's big money. That's big coin you're throwing around. We've gotten a little thrown off kilter when you think about Soto's contract and Shohei's. Throw those out. This is where everybody else is falling. How many teams have $300 million players? Mm-hmm. How many teams have $100 million pitchers?
I mean, they got two of them.
They got $200 million players.
Yeah.
Three. $200 million pitchers. Four guys making over $100 million. And then you got the $300 million guys at the top. It's a lot of money.
Look, I mean, the Braves are going to be healthy this year. The Mets have made themselves better. I think the Nationals are better. The Phillies are still the team to beat for me. And then this is a division with the Braves.
I'm kind of feeling that way with you.
Yeah. That's how I feel about the Phillies. It's still theirs to lose. So from a team that made, I think, the right moves in the offseason to a team that I think we could agree really didn't do as much as we thought in terms of making moves.
Make you move, buddy.
Yeah, Bobby Bo, make you move. Ryan Divish on X on the lack of moves made by the Mariners. This is interesting. Jerry DiPoto quoted as saying, it's been a pretty quiet offseason, and I think that's reflective of a team that didn't have a whole lot of holes to fill. Sit on that for a sec. And, you know, we feel great about our farm system. We feel great about the stability of our team. And we feel like our offense doesn't get enough credit for the things that they do well.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's right. I think that's reflective of a team that didn't have a whole lot of holes to fill, Jerry said. Let's just hyper-focus on that part of the quote, Harold. I mean, this was a team that ranked not very favorably in a lot of offensive categories. I mean, let's face it, there are holes to fill.
No
but
doubt.
I think what Jerry might be getting at is perhaps the discrepancy of home and road offense. Maybe, I mean, we're giving him a break here. Maybe they're talking about what they do at home, but these are the overall ranks. Bro, there's some holes to fill.
I mean, it's awful. I'm sorry. This is in the category of you win 50% of the games or whatever that comment was 2 years ago. Look, just say we need offense. Everybody knows it. And here's the frustration for me. You can look at, yeah, they played well on the road. You play 81 dates at home. Every team in the big leagues, and not just the Mariners, every team has to tailor their team to their home ballpark.
Which they've done with a great
win.
pitching staff.
Pitching, you got to hit.
So what do? You play small ball there?
You got to mix. You got to figure it out. Or you make a trade. You got 6 pitchers that can be moved. Not 5, not 4. You have 6. So maybe you move 1 or 2. And you go get what you can't buy on the free agent market. There's been a lot of players, a lot of movement. And there's a lot of guys still sitting out there that I still convinced that if Toronto can't work something out with Vlad, you're sitting there thinking you can't go entice them with your pitching?
Yeah.
You got to have offense. There's no pop in that lineup. There's nobody that sits there and says, we throw 2 or 3 guys together, they're never going to beat us. And the window, I'm sorry, is closing on the pitching. It's closing.
Well, I mean, this is what we're rolling with as far as a projected starting lineup. And if we were surprised, to your earlier conversation point on the Phillies, if we were surprised that they didn't trade Alec Boehm because there was a lot of smoke there, I'm really surprised and I'm really surprised that we haven't heard a deal for Luis Castillo because there was a lot of smoke there.
My wife's smoke, so it makes me smoke.
Not that kind of smoke.
You got to look at, if you want to be contending, you want to be a playoff team. Those are the teams that have the less what-ifs. This is, what if Julio comes back? What if our pitching is great? What if JP comes back? What if? There's too many what-ifs.
Yeah.
The Yankees aren't saying, what if Aaron Judge hits 50? We know it's happening. You know? What if, there's not a lot of what-ifs on the teams that win.
Right.
There are guarantees. Is Bryce Harper going to have a good year? No doubt.
Yeah, right.
Will he hit 30? Yes.
Right. Maybe, before we say hi to Lauren, maybe it's, close to, I said before we say hi to Lauren.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not yet.
Okay, hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I love you. Oh my gosh, I love you. Your soundboard is refreshed. I see you.
Yeah.
Your skin is radiant.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Morocco. What's happening?
Stop. Robert called it Monaco yesterday.
She went to Morocco for a tan.
He's so judgy about this trip. I don't know why it bothers you so much.
Most of us sit in the backyard with some tinfoil and baby oil on us.
Yeah, we do.
That's too soon for the baby oil material.
That's true.
I mean, let's get it.
Hey, calendar turned to February. We start to put a bow on the offseason, and the Royals were asked, I can't even, they were asked what was their favorite part of the offseason.
Dancing salsa in Miami.
Barbecue and watch some college football on Saturdays.
Who's your team?
Ole Miss, hotty toddy.
I went to the Rose Bowl game on New Year's Day.
I probably went hunting out here in Kansas, shot a nice whitetail buck, and then obviously spent time with the family and the kids.
Playing golf with my boys.
I got good at darts.
How good?
I won a dart tournament online.
Spending the day after Christmas in Disneyland with my little nephews was super special.
Married to my beautiful wife, Jane.
Probably getting married.
What was your favorite part of the offseason? Putting you on the spot, on the hot seat. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Well, I was here every day working. So,
Shoot.
you guys traveled, but I was here. What was your favorite travel destination?
No, my favorite part was hanging out with you all offseason.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, Maddie, your dinner?
Favorite part of the
Playing
offseason?
tennis. You've gotten better. You've improved your game. Not really?
Yeah. I try to play a lot of tennis. No, the dinner that I went to this weekend was very nice. The Armenian Hall of Fame dinner. It was nice.
Did you take
All the
family?
Manassians were there. Perry,
Are you in the
Zach.
Armenian Hall of Fame?
I am in the Armenian Sports Hall of Fame
Wait,
now. Orange County chapter.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was cool. It was cool. There were a lot
Kardashians
of.
there?
No, but Mark Gubazov was there.
He's Armenian?
Mark Langston was there. Michael Young was there.
Oh, okay.
I said, who's who?
Okay.
Aaron Oliver.
That's congratulations,
That's pretty good
by the way.
stuff.
I
Yeah, it
didn't
was
know.
cool.
Did your family go?
They did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
There's this trend going on in the internet. I know you hate when I do this. It's according to birth year. Okay, stay with me. The movie that was #1 at the box office the year you were born describes what kind of year you're going to have. So if it's
Kind of year or life?
what kind of year? A League of Their Own. That's a really great title for your year.
Okay.
So we looked up your birth year, and then we
Does it go back to the 30s?
looked up the movie. What was #1 at the box office on every single year we were born?
Spartacus.
Harold!
Oh, dude, that's one of my favorite
That's
movies of all
great.
time.
That's a great call right there. Matt, The Graduate fits him perfect.
Why?
Oh, it's just
Keith, why?
Because it's about a wandering recent college grad that's being seduced by an older woman.
Oh, that's right up your alley.
Desperate Housewife.
That's as cleanly as I can say that.
Star Wars for me. Top
Return
Gun.
of the Jedi.
Keith.
Wow. Top Gun, Keith.
I
got
go to the
one more
danger
for
zone,
you.
baby.
Holy smokes.
Plastics. Have you seen Spartacus?
Yes.
You seen? No, you haven't.
Spartacus!
She hasn't seen anything. Have you seen any of those movies?
Did you see Return of the Jedi?
I've seen A League of Their Own and Evita. Those are and Wedding Crashers.
And Fried Green Tomatoes
No.
and An Officer and a Gentleman.
no.
All the girl movies.
The
Check,
Holiday.
check.
You haven't
Cameron
seen
Diaz?
Officer and a Gentleman?
Oh, and Willy Wonka, starring Tyler Glasnow.
That was yesterday.
She hasn't seen Spartacus, The Graduate.
Can you guys bring back the picture from yesterday of Tyler Glasnow on the beach?
Oh my gosh.
Because Lauren looked past
ripped.
everybody.
Well,
He is ripped.
You can't.
Yeah,
not.
you can't not see it. I'm with you.
So we know Harold loves movies. He loves reading the newspaper, and he fancies himself a storyteller. See what I mean?
At a high school hockey game.
Here we go.
All right? And I'm sitting with my friends, and their daughter plays catcher on the high school baseball team, but she plays on the boys' hockey team. All right? So she says, I feel like I got a broken bone in my foot, an extra bone. And her mom's like, give me a break. So they take her to the doctor, and sure enough, hockey players find out about this extra bone that 4 to 21% of people have, because all the cutting they do and maneuvering they do on their feet, they sometimes break this bone or injure this bone that most of us don't even know is in our foot. You have to be either 4 to 21% of people have this bone, an extra bone in your foot. Look it up, people.
Look it up, people. Dr. Reynolds.
That was so
Hey,
good.
whoever does our cartoons.
Brendan did that.
Brendan,
He
that
nailed
was
it.
so
I
good.
asked.
It's the
because it
key
was
to
so
keeping
good.
guys healthy.
That
What
was
is the
so
key?
good.
An extra bone in your foot.
extra
Contact the show. Our voicemail box has been down for a long, long time, but our email is up.
It's so good.
We've been getting constant emails like this one. Tell Robert, Morocco and Monaco are different. One has an R in the names. It's a history lesson. Do you love history?
Bad bio info, buddy. Bad bio.
Contact the show. Leave us a voicemail. We'll try. 877-321-6526. Bye for now.
Yeah. We got the Mets in this thing too, little boy. And Keith Costas rejoins us just when you got the disturbing imagery of that open out of your mind from the previous spring training dreaming. Keith's back with the 2 New York teams.
Yeah, guys, and we'll start with the Mets. You think back to last season when things really started to turn around for them. It was late May, and just before that, they made the move with Francisco Lindor moving to the top of the lineup. And depending on how the rest of this offseason plays out, guys, I think there's a pretty good chance that the first 4 in this Mets lineup is as good as anybody in baseball. You see Lindor's numbers from May 21st on. Top 5 in the National League across the board, was hitting just 193 going into that stretch. Obviously, we know he's had a great career, but a vintage Lindor season over the last 4 months or so of 2024. Obviously, the big addition behind him, guys, Juan Soto only cost $765 million. Every year, though, a metronome, 400-plus on-base percentage in his first 7 seasons. Only happened 5 times. Have to go back to the big hurt for the last player to start his career like that.
Who is Ferris fan?
He is kind of an imposter on this board a little bit. H started his career late after World War II, only played for about 10 years. But those other 3 names, obviously, some of the immortals of the game.
Save Ferris, because he knew we were going to ask about that.
I did know you were going to ask that. I've been trying to get him off these lists for years, with all due respect to him. They always screw things up like this, but he's always in there. All right, moving on to the 3-hole, guys. Mark Vientos, how about 25 and younger, highest slugging percentage last year? Same kind of deal here. Keeping some pretty impressive company, 27 homers and just over 400 at-bats. Actually a better home run rate than Pete Alonso last season. But obviously, guys, that's the last question here for the Mets. Maybe not the last question, but the biggest question is Pete coming back? And I feel like, guys, with the way the market's going for him and the way he ended last season, it seems like with every passing day, there's more and more likely that he goes back to New York. And you look at his numbers since he debuted in 2019, only Judge has more home runs. Nobody has more runs batted in. So you put those 4 together at the top of the lineup, Lindor, Soto, Vientos, and Alonso. That's going to be tough to top in terms of a foursome hitting back-to-back-to-back-to-back. Now in the rotation, a couple pieces coming back here. Re-signed Sean Manaea. Kodai Senga, easy to forget how good he was just 2 years ago. Made 1 start last season. Expecting him to be fully healthy. Frankie Montas was healthy last year after missing the previous season, or most of it at least. Clay Holmes making the move across town and from the bullpen into the rotation. But the standout for me, guys, last year, David Peterson. Nobody had a bigger decline in ERA from 2023 to 2024 than Peterson, among pitchers with 100-plus innings in both seasons. So, guys, we'll talk Yankees in just a moment, but quickly, thoughts on the Mets.
Here's my thought on the Mets, and it has to do with Alonso. Are they a better team with Pete Alonso or without Pete Alonso? The answer is with.
Absolutely.
They've got the largesse. They've got the financial resources there. If we're squabbling over $500,000 or whatever, I don't care what the number is. Bring him back. And if the Alonso camp is saying we're not going to sign a 3-year deal, we need 7 at Freddie Freeman money, eat it a little bit and put him back with the Mets.
Yeah.
This is stupid. I mean, the Bregman thing has a lot more intricacies to it. There are a lot more potential players. I know he's holding out for the 7th year, whatever. That's what we're led to believe is happening there. The Alonso thing should be much easier. Bring him back to the Mets. Make it happen. It's dumb. They're better with him, and that's it.
Couldn't agree more. Perfect fit there.
Very well said. I wrote down David Peterson like you. Huge step forward. Vientos, I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to continue to get better and grow, but I don't think he gets better without Pete Alonso. I just don't.
Oh, that's
then Lindor, I got to start the season off with him leading off. I think they may have learned something there, so I think that's big. But Soto's going to do his thing. He's going to be Juan Soto. The question will come down to, is he going to walk 200 times or get 200 hits? If you don't bring back Pete, then you'll see him on first base. You'll go, hey, on base percentage. Yeah. And he won't drive in any runs for your $600 and $700 million.
And then what's the year that they're going to be paying him $750 million to be a DH? Because that's pending. All right, Keith, let's go across town to the Bronx.
Well, obviously, Soto's involved here, too, leaving one New York team to go to the other. We know the deal with the Yankees last year, guys. Aaron Judge carries the weight here for the lineup. They had a great offense last year, most runs per game in the American League. Obviously, Soto out, Goldschmidt, Bellinger, among others, in. If those two can have bounce back seasons, which with Bellinger, you know, he didn't have a bad season last year. It just wasn't quite what 2023 was. And with Goldschmidt, after watching him all those years in St. Louis, I really think the move from Busch Stadium to Yankee Stadium is going to help get him back on track. Maybe not MVP level, but certainly an improved offensive performance is worth banking on for Goldschmidt this year. Now you think about what the downside of the offense was, guys. This was the worst base running team in the major leagues last year by the metrics. And look at all of the names on this list that are no longer with the club. Torres gone, Soto gone, Rizzo gone, Verdugo still a free agent. And thinking about some of the guys that are going to be in there every day in their place, it's going to be a much more athletic look. And you think about a full season of Jazz Chisholm and what he did down the stretch with the Yankees. Here are the numbers he put up and prorating them for 162 games. Obviously, it's a small sample size. He only played 40 games. But you project that out over a full season, he's in some MVP level numbers here, guys. 40 homers and 60 plus steals. We saw him run wild in the postseason as well on the base paths. So Jazz is going to inject a little bit more athleticism from start to finish into that lineup. Same thing with the potential candidate to lead off. We've been waiting on this guy forever, it seems like, even though he's still a young player. Finally healthy Jason Dominguez. These are his AAA or there's minor league numbers rather across 3 levels last season. 56 games. Didn't quite pan out at the major league level when he got up there at the end of the year. But again, same kind of deal. Project these over 162. It's 30 and 45 over a full season's worth of games. Now the big addition in the rotation of Max Fried. You think about the high-end pitchers that they have there in the rotation. These are their best ERAs in a full-length season. You put that all together and give them the same workload, that's a 2.74 ERA if they all were to reach their ceilings. Is that likely? Of course it's not likely that they all put together career years. But just for context, you'd have to go all the way back to 1985 to find a rotation that had an ERA as low as 2.74. So certainly the potential for some special starting pitching. And then you look at the back end of the bullpen as well. Devin Williams in, Clay Holmes out. Holmes led the majors with 13 blown saves last year. Over 2022 to 2024, no closer with at least 50 save opportunities had a higher save percentage than Devin Williams. So you turn, call 7 or 8 of those those blown saves into wins. That would have gotten the Yankees around 100 wins last season. That'll be a big improvement expected in the back end of the bullpen. So the question, guys, which New York team do we feel better about going into 2025?
Such an easy one.
It's an easy one. It's
such an easy one.
So here I'll pose this like Matt did with Pete Alonso. Are the Yankees better with Soto or not? This club is better. This club is way better than the one they put together last year. I love this team. I think they got a chance to really dominate. Only a couple question marks for me. One, who's going to play third? What are you going to do there? I don't want Jazz at third base. I want him at second. So I think that's something to do. He's going to have a big year in that ballpark. And then the other question for me is Dominguez's defense. In left field, it was not good. So you may have to put him in center, and then you move Bellinger to left. And has Cody ever played over there? We'll see. So, but this is a way better team. Pitching, everything.
I'm not worried about the defense because they'll figure that one out. I think in the bullpen is much better too. Not just Devin Williams, healthy Jonathan Loaizaga, and then the trade they made to get Fernando Cruz.
Yes.
That's a sleeper great acquisition for them too. They're good, man. The Yankees are going to win 100 games, and
they're athletic. They got power.
Yep.
They got versatility. You can move guys around.
I'm with you on Cruz, Matty. He feels like the kind of guy the Yankees turn around all the time.
For sure.
こちらが本日のホット STOVE でした。いや、本当に熱い議論が繰り広げられましたね。やはりフィリーズの補強は見逃せません。ブルペンの強化はまさに的確で、昨季の課題をしっかりと修正した形になっています。ジョーダン、ロマーノの加入は、プレッシャーのかかる場面でもしっかりと投げ切れる頼もしい存在ですし、ヘスス、ルサルドがローテーションに加わることで、先発陣の安定感もさらに増しました。彼らがこのオフシーズンでどれほど準備を整え、開幕に向けて万全な状態で挑もうとしているかが、ひしひしと伝わってきます。やはり強いチームというのは、シーズン終了後すぐに次のステップを見据えて動き出すものですね。そして、メッツについても語らないわけにはいきません。やはりフランシスコ、リンドーアのリードオフ起用は大きなポイントですね。昨シーズン後半からの彼の活躍は見事でしたし、今季もその勢いを維持できれば、メッツの打線はさらに厚みを増すことになります。そして、なんといってもファンが注目しているのはピート、アロンソの去就問題。チームの顔ともいえる彼をこのまま手放してしまうのか、それとも長期契約を結んでチームの未来を支えていくのか、すべてのメッツファンが固唾を飲んで見守っている状況です。この件については、いずれにせよ早めの決着を望みたいところですね。 メッツのフロントがどのような決断を下すのか、今後の展開が非常に楽しみです。そして最後は、ヤンキース。このオフシーズンで最も注目されたのは、やはりファン待望の大型補強。チームは昨季から大幅なアップグレードを果たしました。マックス、フリードの加入はもちろんですが、特にデビン、ウィリアムズをクローザーに迎えたのは非常に大きいですね。昨シーズン、13回ものセーブ失敗を記録したクレイ・ホームズの代わりに、安定感抜群のウィリアムズを迎えたことで、ヤンキースの勝ちパターンはより強固なものになったはずです。そして、新戦力として期待されるジャズ、チザムとジェイソン、ドミンゲスも見逃せません。特にチザムは、昨季後半戦の活躍を見れば、ヤンキースに新たなエネルギーをもたらす存在になることは間違いなし、開幕からどんな活躍を見せてくれるのか、今から楽しみで仕方がありません。このオフシーズンを経て、ニューヨークの2チームはそれぞれ大きな変化を迎えていますが、今季の展開を考えたときに、どちらがより優れた補強を行ったのか、という問いには、ヤンキースに軍配が上がるのではないかというのが率直な意見です。メッツもリンドは、ソト、アロンソの強力打線を中心に素晴らしいシーズンを迎える可能性を秘めていますが、ヤンキースはそれを上回るほどのパワーと安定感を備えています。特にローテーションの層の厚さは、今季のヤンキースをより強力なチームにしている要素の一つ。もしも彼らの投手陣がそれぞれキャリアベストに近いシーズンを送ることができれば、1985年以来の鉄壁の先発ローテーションが完成することになるかもしれません。こうして MLB 全体を見渡してみても、今季は本当に面白いシーズンになりそうです。フィリーズのリベンジに向けた準備、メッツのタイトル獲得への意欲、そしてヤンキースの圧倒的な戦力補強、どのチームもそれぞれの目標を掲げて戦いに挑もうとしています。開幕が待ち遠しいですね。今シーズンも数々のドラマが生まれることでしょう。選手たちの奮闘を目の当たりにしながら、一緒に MLB の熱い戦いを楽しみましょう。これからも、ホット、STOVE では、こうした MLB の最新情報や話題をお届けしていきます。もしも気に入っていただけたら、ぜひチャンネル登録をお願いします。コメントであなたの意見も聞かせてくださいね。どのチームの補強が一番うまくいったと思いますか？あなたが注目している選手は誰ですか？たくさんのご意見、お待ちしています。それでは、また次回の放送でお会いしましょう。